winning after failure. Life is a competition, and we are all running towards some undefined finish line, chasing success, chasing dreams, and even chasing happiness. And we are actually living in a world, in a society that puts stigma in us that life really just a competition to the others. It's even already start when before we take our first step as a baby itself. For example, she started to walk at the age of 10 months old, but he started to walk at the age of 1.5 years old. And it can be considered as someone who is late or failing at first. So that's why we are always being compared. We always being cleared to teach that our life is not in our own. Our life is about being compared ourselves to the others. And I believe until now, you stand here must have a comparison with one to the another. And that's for sure. The prevailing narrative often tells us that the key to winning this race is to outpace the others, to be better than those around us, and to claim victory by any means necessary. But if the questions I mentioned before, I twist it back around. What if I say that the key to winning these competitions is not to outpace the others, but to conquering yourself, ourselves itself? And I believe not every dream can be called a one-size-fits-all clone. Your dreams may be the same as your friend's dream. But you know what? The journeys on through those lanes, through those paths, would be different. Because it's not a one-size-fits-all clone. It's not the same dream, a same path. It's always have to be different. So life is just clearly like a maze. We can see in the pictures here, it could be easier if we are looking from the top of it, right? You know where is the entrance, you know where is the exit, you know which kind of lane you can twist entrance. But actually, in reality, in life actually, we don't have any cheat sheet. We don't know where the twist and turns in our life could be. We never know that our labyrinth, our maze, can be different to the others. So self-navigation is very important to us because a finish line is actually not waiting for you. The finish line always walking, always running towards yourself when you start to finding your own journey. So it's not always talking about the end, the finish line. There is no victory in our life. There is no finish line in our life. It is a boundless opportunity for yourself to grow yourself. So we, as a human being, always wanted to be seen as someone who is capable, right? As someone who is competent, as someone who thinks that they can do all at once together. But despite all of those things, just imagine, right? We are in one class and we have a quiz and every single one of you have those twice chance of doing the quizzes. For example, on the first round, half of the students can mark their answers all correct. Meanwhile, the other students can mark all the answers wrong. Despite the two chances being given, the students that is successful on the round one would rise to the top of the rank. Meanwhile, the students who keep failing at the first round would always fail, unfortunately. Because we always been given the options of always winning or always lose. There's nothing between it. You gotta make sure that you choose one or the two options in here. Despite we wanted to be seen as someone who is competent, as someone who is capable, if one failure can come to yourself, it can actually ruin your self-image that we built. We think that, oh yeah, I'm capable in doing this public speaking skills, I'm capable in cooking. But if you failed once, you probably start to questioning yourself. And it can make you to have a self-doubt. A self-doubt is when you start to questioning yourself. Am I really liking this thing? Am I really capable in doing these things? Or am I really capable in living in this life? But when we're talking about a self-doubt, the advice would be just be more confident, be more assuring, be spend more time with your friends, more time to studying. There are a lot of more. But at the same time, it could lead us to have a low self-esteem because we felt less, and less. We have failed, but the society forced us to make us feel more, and more. And that's why we make our low self-esteem. So for example, there are students that want to learn about public speaking skills, yeah. Like say it in general. There will be two types of students. The first one is the beginner students. They do not know what to do in life, especially in public speaking. So they wanted to join the public speaking class, for example. And the second one is the advanced one, which know where these skills would be ranked out to be. The difference between these two types of student is that the beginner one wants to have those motivations to encourage them, to enlighten them, to keep focusing on their goals. But for the advanced students, they prefer to take more criticism. And when people start to feel that thinking that they are failed enough, they stop processing new informations. They think that they are not capable enough because they think after failed once and twice, they cannot find the solutions. They already focusing on what's the problem rather than trying to find the solution. And I do believe every one of you in here have faced the same mistake, have to face the same challenges in your own labyrinth. And I knew that every one of you must have your secret bullets that be on your own. And for sure, it doesn't have to be the same as in everyone, right? So let me tell you my secret bullets and when I face these kind of challenges. The questions of how we're winning ourselves. The first one is we try to accept it. It could probably the hardest thing that we can do. Accept the things where it doesn't belong to us. When you failed, you don't want to accept failure, right? But you have to. You cannot handle the pains of failure because you never experienced the failure, because you never know when your failure would be. Try to accept it, because life is a labyrinth. It's filled with a twists and turns. You never know where is the twists and turns until you're getting out of the exit door. That's why you have to accept it. The second one is mastering experience. People will probably say, oh, Bella is so cool. She's standing there being a speaker at TEDx. But they did not know that I have been failed 2 times before I stand here. The first time, probably after I'm becoming the new student, the freshman year, I was thinking that I have no innovation's purpose on why I would stand here. I would be thinking, yeah, it would be so cool, right, if I stand here as a TED Talk speaker. So I have no clear purpose on why would I talk in here. So that's why I failed. And the second opportunities I've been given, I'm thinking about people's already being the best at their field. People always giving their best, and their best. But at the time, the second trial, I failed again. And for me, it's actually kind of desperating because I already joined this twice, then why would I fail again? I would be so much better than everyone because I already know where kind of this competition is going, right? But I was wrong at that time. After 2 months of grieving, after 2 months of crying and sad because why would I fail again, I was started to wondering that there's actually something wrong in me. I was still focusing in the other people's giving their best rather than I tried to ask myself, am I really giving my best at that time? And that's my questions. And then the third trial, I'm not only focusing on the competitions of TEDx again, but on 1 year during the second trial until the third competition, I started to learn a new experience. I find it easier to find your life important, your life value. So that's why one of your effort could lead to another impact in your life. Just like a drop of water in the bucket of water. One drop can create a ripple effect. So that's why one effort you put on your work can affect you a lot. So it's not only because I want to stand here, that's why I wanted to join, become the most outstanding students, and etc. It's just because I want to learn in life. And that's why I call mastering experience. The third one in here is social modeling. I bet it is satisfied enough to see your friends standing here, be applauded, have a high rank, to see someone successful. You could be satisfied for yourself. And actually it is. I'm so happy if I see my friend succeed. If I see my friend can encouraging themselves to always even more, and more. And that could enlighten my self-confidence, can boost my self-confidence in it. But I felt like there is one secret bullet that after all, I'm sitting here, the audience are like young people. They tend, if they wanted to fail a couple of times, they felt helpless. They felt like they're drowning, nothing, no one can help them. And I have been there too. I've been failed not only just in this field, I've been failed in several times. I failed a couple of times and I feel like I have no one, I cannot do anything. But there is one thing that I finally think can change it. You are all on, do it by yourself. Let's say from accept the failure you own to handle. You accept the feeling. So that it's you on your own dealing with your emotions, right? With mastering experience, you try to yourself and you want to mastering all of the things. It's you versus you. And the third one, social modeling. You just see yourself and seeing the others. You tend to do all to create your own environment in one bubble. And that's why it's very important to have more secret bullets. To find a support system. People would say, why would I find a support system if I already failed? What's kind of the purpose? What kind of impact they would give me? Well, young people today can feel easier to have a low self-esteem. They feel disappointing themselves again and again and again. And support system is very important to have a resilience and bouncing back in our life. Let's just say a student already labeled themselves academically succeed. They would probably think that they don't need anyone to achieve a good grade, to achieve a great another achievements. They don't need anyone. Just like for me, I was labeling myself as someone who is very independent, as someone who doesn't need anyone because probably I just born like smart and talented and blah, blah, blah. Just say like that. But when I failed a couple of times, I was collapsed. I do not know what to do. I do not know where to go. I do not know what should I do. But the society often tells us that if you can fail once, you can back by yourself. You can get back by yourself. But I know it is actually a lie. I really hate that kind of perspective that has been given to us nowadays. Probably, if we're failing once or twice, we can get back to ourselves. But if we fail for 3 times, 4th time, the 5th, until 100, let's say, on the same thing, how can we have faith in ourselves when we keep failing, when it's keep disappointing in you? So that's why it's very important to start to create, to have your minds, the importance of having the self-centered and self-centered friends. You have to realize how important it is to seek for help. It doesn't mean that you are helpless. That doesn't mean that you are not capable in doing things. It's just you need trying to bouncing back on the problems that you have. So probably social connections is just really good for us, let's say. It can protect our body. It can protect our minds. It can say that it can open up your minds about failure. It can open up your mind about being successful. It can open up your points of view, a different point of view. I know every one of you has a different meaning of success. Every one of you have a different labyrinth, so they know what kind of failure if they mean to themselves. But social connections can help them to become more open, to see more connections in it. But the question to start to appear, if social connection is really important, then why somehow people can still feel loneliness in such a crowd? I know it's not just first time if you felt loneliness in such a crowd. I have been there too. And the answer is just because not how much friends do you have, not how much community do you join, but the quality of a relationship in there matter more. A safe place to create yourself to find the solution in all your problems. And it's more important than that. So here's, of course, obviously a steps in a life that probably just facing me also. Probably the first round to say, I won't do it just because I can't. Just because I do not know what to do in life. I never know what kind of steps should I take if I wanted to be like this, for example. But trying to have your finish line. But just remember that your finish line is keep walking as you find yourself a new discovery. Just push yourself until you learn that you can finally do it. After failing a couple of times, you have your rights to fear. You have your right to be fear of failings once again. But at the end of the day, your courage has just to be a little bit bigger than your fear. I'm Nabila, and thank you.